Good evening, and thank you, Professor Butler, for those beautiful words. Not an easy act to follow, but I have a phenomenal job. It's my great privilege and honor to have this opportunity to introduce the incomparable Tamara Lawson for her investiture as the new Tony Remby Dean for the University of Washington School of Law. I've had the distinct pleasure of knowing Dean Lawson for nearly 16 years, and ironically, it was the most immediate past dean of UW Law, another dear friend, Mario Barnes, who introduced and brought Dean Lawson and me together. The first time I met Dean Lawson, 4 incredibly impressive qualities about her were immediately obvious to me, though I won't be noting them in order of importance. The first is that Dean Lawson is a fashionista, a style icon. Second, she is a trailblazer and a visionary. Third, she is one of the most hardworking people on the planet. And fourth and finally, she is a kind, dedicated, and generous soul who works tirelessly for the people, communities, organizations, and causes that she loves. And if you'll indulge me for just a bit, I will share more about each one of these amazing qualities during my 10 minutes. As you all have surely come to know by now, Dean Lawson is a complete style icon and an absolute showstopper when it comes to fashion. The woman is bad. And as a famous rap group, Run DMC, explained in their song Peter Piper, not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. Dean Lawson always looks impeccable, and her style is always both timeless and trendy. And if you're her friend, you simply understand that one of the consequences of her friendship is that you look shabby by comparison when you're standing next to her. Especially if you're like me and you have very little fashion sense, although I hope I get some points for wearing purple. But it's not just about the clothes and the bags for Dean Lawson. What I've learned from watching and listening to her over the years is that there is intentional communication laced into each outfit that she wears. Whether it's the brooch on her jacket that is designed to remind her students that they are stars, or her signature purple suits and purple leather purse that convey her stroud and proud commitment to the Husky community. One can be assured that Dean Lawson is both on point and on message with her fashion. Second, and more importantly, Dean Lawson is a true trailblazer and a visionary. After all, she was among the very first legal scholars, if not the first, to write about the CSI effect on jurors and non-lawyers. Similarly, Dean Lawson, a former deputy district attorney in Las Vegas, Nevada, was among the very first professors to write scholarship concerning the killing of Trayvon Martin and the dangers of stand your ground laws. In fact, her seminal article on the killing of Trayvon Martin garnered her many media appearances as a legal expert on the case and the issue. And soon thereafter, she was selected as the reporter for the American Bar Association's National Task Force on Stand Your Ground laws. And since then, Dean Lawson has continued to apply her scholarship in ways designed to advance justice by helping to train other attorneys in the criminal law field. For example, she's offered trainings for the Miami-Dade Prosecutor's Office, as well as the federal public defenders on issues related to race, bias, and policing, and even the charging of offenses. Critically, she is using her scholarly insights to shape the next generation of law students and lawyers with her criminal law casebook, which is co-edited with President Song Richardson of Colorado College, who is present, and Professors Angela Harris and Cynthia Lee. But in addition to being a scholarly visionary, Dean Lawson has left shattered glass in any workspace that she enters. She has broken through the glass ceiling to achieve several important firsts. Indeed, it is fitting that today's investiture is taking place during February, Black History Month, because Dean Lawson is a real history maker. First, at St. Thomas University Miami School of Law, she became the first tenured woman of color on the faculty, the first. Later, in 2018, she became the first woman of color to serve as Dean of St. Thomas Miami Law. And then in August 2022, Dean Lawson made history again when she became the first woman of color to become the dean at the University of Washington School of Law. And as if her trailblazing was not impressive enough, Dean Lawson's outstanding talent as a visionary are even more remarkable. She sees possibilities where others see none, and she creates structures that are themselves history-making, all while advancing social justice. In fact, she not only envisioned the historic Benjamin L. Crump Social Justice Center at St. Thomas Miami Law, a center that aims to nurture the next generation of civil rights lawyers while also pushing for racial and gender diversity in the legal profession. She also accomplished the impressive feat of raising the funds to actually found the historic center. As you all know, Benjamin Crump is the most prominent civil rights lawyer of our time, and his work centers on one of the most pressing issues today: police violence and brutality against Black and brown people. To build this historic center, Dean Lawson successfully yielded a $1,000 corporate grant from the Trust Financial Foundation to support the creation of the center. And the resources that she raised to found the Crump Social Justice Center were just the beginning. Dean Lawson had an even bigger and more historic vision in mind. She had a vision of the first non-HBCU law school to be named after an African American, Benjamin Crump, and the first to be named after a living African American. And she then put her vision in motion, securing the $10 million gift from Mr. Crump and his associates that would make her vision a reality, that would turn St. Thomas Miami Law to the now new Benjamin L. Crump College of Law. And notably, this $10 million gift is the largest gift in the history of St. Thomas University, the entire university, not just the law school. And I would be remiss if I did not note that Dean Lawson was essentially a one-woman show in bringing in these two gifts. She cultivated the donors, namely Mr. Crump. She made the ask and essentially closed both gifts. And importantly, she did it all without a staff development and alumni relations office. Didn't I tell you she was bad? And she did it because she believes in her students, their promise, and our ability as a nation to achieve racial and social justice. Further, she understood that mentoring and opportunity are both critical to achieving our shared goal of expanding justice in the profession and in society. As Dean Lawson indicated at the Crump Social Justice Center's founding, quote, "No one becomes Ben Crump on their first day as a lawyer, but mentorship is critical to building the confidence and the platform for people to excel," end quote. Importantly, Dean Lawson also had a key vision that has literally helped to change the face of the legal profession. The Associate Deans of Color Annual Retreat, which she founded during her own term as an Associate Dean at St. Thomas Miami Law, and that she did to help Associate Deans of Color build the skills and bridges they need to become deans at institutions across the country. Many current and past deans directly benefited from her excellent institution building, vision, and organizational skills in creating the Associate Deans of Color Annual Retreat. At least 15 attendees of this conference have become law deans, and that list includes individuals like Mario Barnes, formerly at UW Law, Dean Danielle Hawley of Howard Law School, soon to be the first Black woman president of Mount Holyoke College, and Dean Gary Jenkins of the University of Minnesota Law School, who is clearly also destined to become a president. That's just naming a few of the beneficiaries. Third, Dean Lawson is one of the hardest working people you will ever meet. Her hands are literally in everything. She is a leader among leaders, and she holds and has held a number of critical leadership positions in legal academia and the legal profession. In addition to running this law school, one of the best law schools in the nation, She currently serves on the Association of American Law Schools, or AALS, Dean Steering Committee, the AALS Executive Committee for the Section on Women in Legal Education, of which she was formerly the chair, the Law School Admissions Council Board, where she chairs the Budget and Finance Committee, and the Board for the Society of American Law Teachers, or SALT, where she leads the ABA Rules Committee. Plus, she currently serves as chair of the Law Professors Division for the National Bar Association, the largest organization for Black attorneys. And I won't tell you the story about how I saw Tamara when we were on vacation in Aruba, going around the pool on the phone, cutting deals, but I won't tell you, but it was both scary and really impressive. Fourth and finally, Dean Lawson is a generous spirit who utilizes her leadership and entrepreneurial skills to help the people, communities, and organizations she loves the most. I can personally attest to what an excellent friend she is. And you can also see Dean Lawson's kind heart in the way she cares for and takes care of her mother, who is affectionately known and beloved in legal academia as Dean Mom. Though let me say, don't sleep on Dean Mom. Dean Mom, Ms. Barbara Lawson, is also a style icon, a savvy business leader, and a formidable strength among us. And for sure, Dean Lawson takes after her mother in every way. But it's been beautiful to see how Dean Lawson manages to excel in one of the toughest jobs around, being a law school dean, all while managing to find true quality time in caring for her mother. The University of Washington, particularly the law school, is now an amazing community and an organization that Dean Lawson loves. She's exceptionally dedicated to the Husky community, and I know she will continue to shower the law school with the incredible leadership skills, care, and strategic planning that she has brought to every institution she has touched. You are very lucky to have her at the helm. As she has done all her life, she will bring the law school to new heights. I'm excited to see where she takes the law school in the future, and I'm beyond honored to introduce my dear friend, Dean Tamara Lawson, the new Tony Remby Dean at the University of Washington.